how it feels if you push the accelerator a bit. Okay, we're being pulled over by the police. Maybe I can flatter them with some Polish here. Dobry wieczór!
Możemy zaparkować tak, żeby nie wystawać? Nie?
A gdzie?
Za szybko jedziemy.
Programmet presenteras av vår samarbetspartner bythjul.com. Däck och fälgar online direkt hem till din dörr eller närmaste verkstad.
So we're in Krakow here to drive this new luxury mover, the Lexus LM. That's what the LM stands for. And it's got a very imposing feeling. And does that feel luxurious? Well, I like how this one looks. It looks like a fast train. I don't know if they got the design from that, but to me, I like when a car is a bit ugly and look a bit, bulky, because I like when there's a lot of volume inside, when there's a lot of seats, and that you can transport a lot of people, and overall practicality. But it's not just practicality here, it's about luxury. So this comes into the market as being a competitor to these big boys, like the Range Rover, the GMC Yukon, the Cadillac Escalade, might be luxury cars like sedans, the BMW 7 Series or Mercedes S-Class. And I wonder, aren't these cars actually better for that real experience of having a VIP treatment if you really want to be soothing on the road? But let's see if a van-shaped car can level up to that competition. The main goal with this car is to get all these stressed VIPs to get a bit more relaxed. It will also be very interesting to see what type of driver's car this is, because I don't think it really is. But that is a part of it, because this 7-seater that we are testing here at first, well, that's for the family. So this is the LM350H. So it's a self-charging hybrid. It doesn't have that much power. It's only 250 horsepower, 239 newton meters of torque. And it's got that CVT gearbox, which we think so-and-so about. So I think that it's all up to that chauffeur, because there is a chauffeur that you will need to be driven around in. Maybe not this one with the 7-seater, that's for the family. But I think that the VIP version, the 4-seater version, which you will sit just 2 in the back, that's the one. And that chauffeur, well, he needs to be a ballet dancer, because that foot really needs to be gentle. This car, it needs to tuck around 2,300 or 2,400 kilos, and that is a lot. A little uphill, and this engine will be stressed. And that is a part of a car that is not that luxurious. You should have a more powerful engine, but let's just see. Well, you get into the driver's seat, and immediately you feel that it feels like driving a van in this upright position. You get into those very, very comfy seats. They have good support, and you can set them in, not that many ways as you can set the rear seats, of course, because the middle row, that's where you should sit and have a bit more luxury and a bit more comfort. As I always say, how can you adjust the steering wheel for that bit more sporty feeling? And I don't like when it's too low. In this one, as in the RX, you can't really adjust it higher. You want to have it higher sometimes. But in this one, no, it's down here. So it's a bit more like driving a truck. But that's fine. In a car like this, I think it's just fine. You get into a good position. The steering wheel is just great. It feels great. You got some wood here, great leather. And the grip is just perfect. So it's a very sporty steering wheel. I also like these latches of how you open the door. I just think they're just great, because you push it with your power as you push with your thumb at the same time. You got buttons here to open the sliding doors for the rear passengers as they climb out. That's a bit luxurious as well. Then it's the same setup as in the RX, but I think that it's become a bit quicker. This system, it's very sharp, very quick, almost quicker than in most other cars. So they really updated that one. It's got a nice graphic to it, it's sharp. So a lot of the adjustments has been put up into the screen, like the heating of your seat, the heating of your steering wheel. But you got some knobs and some physical buttons as well. We've seen that before. A big armrest, well, you can set this in if you want to play some a movie or something else on the rear screen for your passengers, and you got a remote control here as well. I like how this opens. If you open as a passenger there, the passenger side, it opens towards you, and the same here. I also like that it's very wide. That's great if you want to spread out a bit more. It's a great finish in here. The quality is, it feels just good. Nice with this wood here. You got some Alcantara here. So the design is great. I like this Japanese design that Lexus has. It's not, as I always said, not too much and not too mild. So this is good. There's a rear view mirror. Well, you got that digital connected to your rear view camera. You got a button for the side shades here, so you can close all of them if you want to have some more privacy here. And the roof shade, yeah, you can close that one here as well. But there's a lot of stuff that has been put into the ceiling, the buttons here. And I think it's, I don't know, that little bit of a stretch. Would like to have it down here, but it would be too cluttery maybe. So smart to put it up there. But there's a big menu in the back, and we'll have a look at that as well, where you really need to sit and fiddle in the roof. But the cockpit is just good. Good vision all around. Very long dashboard here, and that lean on the big screen. So the vision all around is just great. You sit in a high position, and yeah, as a driver, you have a very free view out. Okay, so you roll off, and immediately that engine kicks in, which feels, well, not that luxurious. I would like to have it a bit more powerful, like in an electric mode, because this is a car, when you drive at these speeds, it should be completely quiet. Of course, a very soft steering. You get some uneven surface to judge how the suspension is. This is not air suspension. Just with a very light touch on the throttle as I want to move about, the engine kicks in. There is something about that, something not that very graceful. It should be more powerful. It should be a bit more charged in that way when you roll around in the city. But, well, that's what it is. Got the CVT gearbox, and I think that it works in slower speeds when you get up to pace, and if you want to drive a bit more sporty, well, then that's a gearbox that is not that very flattering. It builds on that platform that the RX has. It's the fourth car in this next chapter. It's the NX, it's the RX, and it's the RZ, that fully electric one. So if you're new to this car, and if you look at the cluster, well, there's rather much information here. As soon as I look at this one, it gives me a warning of that I'm not looking at the road. So, you know, safety features, tons of them in here. This one has got this drive mode called rear comfort. It should be a bit more pleasant ride for the passengers in the back. When you get to some uneven surface like here, it's not supposed to squat and wiggle about that much. So at the red light, let's just push in sport and see how it feels if you push the accelerator a bit. Well, you know, that is just struggle. 0 to 100 in 8.7 seconds, I think. Yeah, it works. You know, this is not a car to be a sporty driver in, even though there's sporty modes. So every time there is a sporty mode, well, you should always try it out. But it doesn't really make any sense in this one. Okay, we're being pulled over by the police, Polish police. Maybe I can flatter them with some Polish here. Dobry wieczór!
Możemy zaparkować tak, żeby nie wystawać? Nie?
A gdzie?
Troszeczkę przykręcamy do nas.
Dobrze, dobrze.
Za szybko jedziemy.
Aha.
Za szybko. Tutaj mamy 50.
Okay.
Cała Mirowska to jest 50.
Just got a speeding ticket here. Drove a bit too fast, but you know, that happens. But that's what it is. So let's get back to this car and drive it as it should be driven. You know, cautiously and slowly, I guess. But the thing is about this car is that that's the way it should be driven. You know, when you got a chauffeur, as this car is meant to have, maybe this one is for the families, but still, you transport people in a very luxurious way. Great seats, you know, a lot of space and a lot of adjustments. This car is meant to, you know, make the passengers relax. Stressed passengers with stressed lifestyle, well, they should step into this car and then get into a cool mode. And there's modes to set you in a very relaxing mode. Like for instance, there's sensors that are reading out your body temperature and sets the right temperature to cool you down. Right now we're on a bit more rocky road, a bit rough road with some dents in it. It feels like the suspension, well, it's not like a Rolls Phantom or some 7 Series or an S-Class with air suspension, because these cars, they can absorb with better precision. So you can hear that there is some sound, and it is a bit harsh underneath. Even though it absorbs it well in its structure, it still feels that it's there. So it doesn't feel that super expensive. It doesn't line up with this type of luxury mover that it is. I like the steering wheel. Said that before, in the RX it's just the same. You got this simulated gearbox, which is just nonsense because it doesn't work. It just gives you some fictional feeling of changing gears. It feels very quick as it just revs it up, but it's just artificial. So you could just save the space, take these away. Maybe we're getting to some more curvy roads here. Let's see what we can do here. Okay, it's 70. That's a bit better. Let's turn on the sport mode. Let's just see how it feels in the bends. Well, of course, this is not the way it should be driven, but it doesn't lean that bad actually when you have a bit higher speed. Okay, so here's maybe a sharp bend. Let's just see. Yeah, okay, and that was more than 50 kilometers an hour, and of course, it understeers a little there. So it's got this E4 electric motor on the front axle and the rear axle. And it distributes the power a bit differently there, depending on how you drive. The brakes there are very smooth. They're not that very super grabby, but they're powerful enough. You step in, and this is good. You can grab this big handle here, so you don't need to, you know, search for it. And you can also hold here. So, you know, if you want to step in and hold that, I don't know if that is comfortable, but it's okay. It's a bit, you know, it's a bit of a recline here, so you don't bump your head into it. So, yeah, but there's a lot of handles to get you in a rather graceful way. This will be for driving your family around if you got the needs for that extra luxury MPV or luxury mover or shuttle or what you want to call it. But also, this is a good enough car for driving a lot of VIPs around, even though the 4-seater, that's their pinnacle. It feels like those big massage parlor seats that you see people sitting in when they get their nail polish and they get their manicure. So I'm getting into this comfortable position here. The thigh rest that you can adjust. Well, for me it works. You need to set the chair, you know, push it back a bit more, because otherwise if you're too tall, then your feet will be squeezed in between the thigh rest and that front seat. This one, well, that is adjustable in so many ways. You can get, you know, heated seat, of course. You can ventilation, you can get some auto configuration. My original, it will be set in so many different ways. Automatic. You got a little tray or a little table that you can fold up. You know, that is not bad. You can sit and write some notes. Maybe you can have like a dinner here because it's rather small, so it's more for writing notes, I think. And they have also done it so that you got your arm rested for stability when writing. And you got 2 individual small phones or tablets, which you can adjust all your settings back here. You can change the volume of the music, your station or what you're looking at, what you're watching. Then you got this climate concierge. You can set your original, so you can set the lighting and the temperature and all of that to suit your needs. You got dream, and you know, they do so many different things here. It's loading, focus mode has been enabled. All right, yeah, and then you get some massage, so that starts off. Is it a gimmick? Well, it's rather luxurious. And as a VIP, or VIP in the family, when you step into this car, well, you know, having this set, your personal mode, that really elevates some of the luxury. And why not? And you can change the lights up to 64 different colors, the audio, the climate, well, a lot of things in this little tablet. Cup holder here at the front of this armrest. And there's some cup holders here and some pockets and stuff all around. But here's the thing, when you want to change, I mean, for the family it's all right, but as being transported as a VIP, sitting here stretching up for that temperature that you might want, or that light, or the doors, or you know, roof shade, well, it's better to do it in this tablet. That's more convenient and more comfortable. Looking up and having to see where all the buttons are, I don't think that is as luxurious. And the seats back here, of course, they are very inviting. It's like a first class air cabin, and that's what they've aimed to deliver. And I think they've achieved, because the seats, they are just super. They're just really, really comfortable. I like this headrest and how you can recline it, and you can almost get into a sleeping position when you fold that thigh rest out and then just recline the seat. It's a cozy feeling back here. You can't deny that. You want to be driven in this car, period. And let's just try out the third row. Well, they're rather wide. Those seats can be rather small sometimes. And you can also adjust the backrest. Got some charging points, and you can change that sunshade. So it's not that bad. It's a bit of a stow and a go, so you can put these seats up like you see here. So, well, it's okay. The space is okay in the third row, but that's not where you want to sit. You want to sit in the mid row. So now we're where we should be in this car, in the back seat, in this 7-seater version. And this window up here, it gives this very, very air-like feel in here. It's very roomy. Climate controls, how you want to set it. And you also got this Nano X, which drips a little moist out in the air to clean it and purify it, so it becomes fresh in here. So comparing it to a big luxury sedan, you know, it's lower, it's got better body rigidity, like an S-Class or a BMW 7 Series or an A8, an Audi A8, or a Lexus LS for that instance. It's a different type of ride, but they've done a good job here, and it's well isolated, it's quiet of course, but as you drive it and as you ride in it for a while, you can still feel that it's got this shuttle vibrations. Okay, so if you're in a hurry, well, and this is a very rocky road. This is a very torn up road. This is not a good road. So here you can, let's not say too much. When you're with your family driving this car, well, then you want to have your connection with everyone from the front driver seat to the third row back there. So this open space here is a bit different from that VIP version, that 4-seater, which has this wall. Something good is that you can push this window down, and on many shuttles and big MPVs, you're not able to do that. And this VIP version, or this 4-seater version, which lets you get into your cocoon of luxury, with a 48-inch screen and captain chairs, well, this is something really special. Private lounge. Now, someone has been sleeping back here. I'll just fold it up to start off with. We can try it, how it feels if you want to lay down. It's a long seat, so I need to jump up a bit, because when it's extended in its position like this, laying down. I'm 175 centimeters tall, so my head doesn't reach up to it really. I need to jump up a bit, and then it's a bit of a steep climb here on the backrest, so not that comfortable really. But the seats, all in all, are very comfortable. So really, what can you say about this back here? It is just, it feels privileged sitting back here. It's almost better sitting here by yourself. It's really a place to be calm in and to really reflect and get energized in. And that's what they are aiming for. Those stressed and hardworking, very important persons, they should step in here and step out being very relaxed at the end of the journey. So as a shuttle bus for companies and for hotel chains, etc., I think this will work very, very well. Because I think that getting into a S-Class or a 7 Series, well, they might be better on the road, might be a bit more quiet, but you know, this space, this is something different. It feels like a room, and it's like you're in a lounge, and you know, a lounge that rolls, that is something special. And you got this 48-inch screen in front of you, and that is just great. I thought it was a bit overkill in the beginning, but sitting here looking at it from this position, it's really good. It might feel like it could have been a bit higher, but then it would be a bit difficult, you know, if you want to interact with your driver. So I just think that it's a good place for it, because when you recline the seats, you have it in your perfect vision spot there. And then back here you got your induction charger and some USB-C ports as well. And I like that you can put your phone there and then you can just leave it there charging, and you just close that little lid in the wall. So that's smart. That's smart, hiding that away, because you always interact with your phone. Everyone does that. And you got your fridge here, and you can have a bottle of champagne, maybe 2, and a couple of glasses there. That's good. A little storage here for your stuff. Storage there as well. The only thing is those buttons here, they're not that very well placed. They should be tilted up a bit more. So the best thing is just to use this little pad here, this little tablet, which is one for you and one for the other passenger back here. And the window shades here, well, just push them down and you're even more cocooned. That window there, well, you push that up if you want to have it open, if you want to have a discussion with your driver of where you're going and where you want to be taken. Push it up. You can also lock it so the driver can't pull it down if you really want to have some privacy. But if you want to be even more private and you don't want him to glance at you back here, you just push this button here and it gets dimmed. Great. Getting to your destination, well, you will be well rested, and I don't think you want to leave this cabin for a while. If you've been driven once in it, I think you want to have another ride in it, wherever you want to go, because this is a pleasant place to be. You got 2 big bags which you can put in here. You got 700 liters of boot capacity back here, but if you get into a lay down or a flat position, if your VIPs want to lay down, well, then it's gets squeezed a bit. But otherwise, this works rather well. The 7-seater, of course, it got some more space, and you can remove the 3rd row to get even more space. I also like that you can walk under here. It's rather high. That's good. You don't need to bend down. And also when you close it, it takes its little time. And I like that somewhat, because you can't squeeze yourself, you don't get it in your head. That's good. And you also got some buttons here which you can open that rear trunk door. That's good. You know, he's playing something back on that 48-inch screen, and you know, I have my little private cockpit in the front, so I'm not disturbed and they are not disturbed back there. But it feels a bit strange driving someone and not having the connection or talking to the person, knowing that I'm in command here. It's like in a plane. You sit and you don't have any interaction with the pilot. Rather special. In a car. So even though it's built on a passenger platform car, it still feels like a bus, which it is. It is tall, it is wide, and it is rather long. And it, even though it masks the vibrations a bit, it's still, they're still there. So the challenge here for the driver is really to keep the line, drive smooth, and to make your passengers feel like they haven't even been on a ride. They've just been overwhelmed by all that luxury that they get back in that cocooned area. Because he opens the window now, and now he wants to talk to me. Do you want a drink or something, or what? I was just talking about that, driving a bit more smooth. So let's do that for a while. So I think that this car works best at consistent, rather low speeds. Of course, you can drive out on the motorway and have a consistent speed there because they've worked a lot with that turbulence and how the wind is deflected on it, even though it's very high, because it has that shape. But this is the way it should be driven, and I think that's the way this engine performs at its best. And this modulated brake posture control makes it, you know, don't roll and pitch and dive that much during braking. And then also got this smooth braking stop, which when you brake down, it doesn't, you know, roll back or kick back when you come to a stop. Everything to really excel that level of quality and comfort for all riders. And I think that most very important persons or executives or you know, high-end customers for a company or something that should travel in this car, they will be rather satisfied because it's like stepping into a room. It's very elegant. The materials, they feel really good, really plush. It's very delicate with its design. It feels like you're sitting in a very, very high exclusive lounge. And that's how it should supposed to feel. Been trying out a lot of seats in different luxury cars, but these are on another level. So I think that the seats, they are the one that really stands out, together with this cabin and together with this concept of having a VIP section. And it feels like you don't want to step out of here. You want to sit here for a while. You can get all that massage going and that temperature, and you got this little sensor here which reads out your body temperature. So if you have that in auto, then it can, you know, just get the right temperature going, and it can also purify the air in here with that Nano X technology. And it's just the thing that you don't want to interact with someone, just having your private session. I really understand why they created this car. You're being calmed down because every time there is an open space to the driver or someone else, well, it doesn't feel as relaxed. So getting into your own space, your own mind, and just having the time for yourself or a business partner or your loved one or someone else, and this is the perfect place. So this is what the car is all about. Not the driving experience, it's the passenger riding experience back here.